Wildlife is my passion, and the marine environment is my favorite place to be. So I love the fact that I get to work with scientists who are discovering new species in this part of the world.
The Blue Belt programme set out to protect 4 million square kilometres of ocean around the UK overseas territories.
The UK overseas territories that are part of the Blue Belt programme are Ascension Island, British Antarctic Territory, British Indian Ocean Territory, South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands, Pitcairn Islands, St. Helena, and Tristan da Cunha.
For Ascension and Tristan, the Blue Belt programme really started right at the very beginning, from engaging with those territories for a desire to enhance their marine protection, working right through to data gathering to understand what was in their waters, to help them identify what sort of management regime would be best for them to put in place, and then going on to help with the legislation.
In 2019, the Blue Belt helped support an expedition to Henderson Island to really highlight the issues of marine plastics in the South Pacific. Some of the coral reefs we saw were absolutely fantastic, and I'm talking about full carpets of colourful corals, some of the most deep corals I've ever seen as well.
For effective marine protected areas and effective management, it's really, really important that they're underpinned by strong governance. That can be having the right policy and legal framework in place, and also making sure that the management measures have teeth. So they have a really important site for whale sharks in St. Helena. The Blue Belt programme worked with St. Helena government. We've assisted in developing a marine tourism policy, and we're also working on marine tourism regulations. If you don't have the right governance in place, then the management measures won't work.
During an expedition just north of St. Helena, we were working with some local mariners who were talking about an area they like to fish, and they were talking about how shallow it was in this area. Turned out that there was a massive seamount in this location. It was something twice the size of Ben Nevis, previously been uncharted and was unknown to science.
Working with the British Indian Ocean Territory, we've been able to help them in prosecuting vessels operating in their marine waters. And also in the case of the Nika, which was operating illegally down in South Georgia.
I think the major decisions that have been made by these overseas territories is a strong commitment to marine protection in its exclusive economic zones. These overseas territory governments have made massive commitments to protect their waters for biodiversity, for sustainable fishing, and for future protection.
Although Tristan da Cunha is a remote island in the middle of the ocean, it has previously had impacts from oil pollution where the MS Oliver ran aground and spilled its cargo and its fuel, causing a real problem for the environment and the habitats there. And what the Blue Belt programme has done is to work proactively with Tristan da Cunha government to help them understand better the volume of shipping traffic and the risk posed. And then with that information, we've helped establish an area to be avoided, to keep the shipping traffic further away from the main islands and reduce that collision risk.
Reducing the detrimental impact of human activity has been a really important part of the Blue Belt programme. Human impacts can kind of be put into two different categories. On the one hand, you've got the local human impacts, but then you've got those more global problems like climate change and marine litter. And we can kind of direct measures in place through management plans or legislation.
The Blue Belt has been such a unique programme, bringing together people that haven't worked together before with a really clear objective of enhancing the marine environment. So what makes me really enthused is that we're actually having a demonstrable effect on those marine environments. You can actually see where there has been improvements, including return of species, more abundance, cleaner oceans, better resilience to climate change. So really making a positive, demonstrable benefit for the overseas territories and for the rest of the planet.
These remote marine waters need our protection, our care, and our passion for the future.